Greetings to all the awakening chosen people of God. This message is titled Understanding the God of Israel and His Son will mean everlasting life. Understanding who the true God is, understanding His activities, and understanding His Son will mean everlasting life. At John chapter 17, verse 3, it is written, "This means everlasting life. They are coming to know you, the only true God, and the one whom you sent, Yeshua." Yes, this is from the Messiah himself, that if we come to know the true God and the one that represented him, his Son, that will mean everlasting life for us. So knowing who the God is and understanding his activities, understanding the decisions and the plans and the things that he has proposed in his heart to do and is doing. Understanding this means understanding the means he is using to accomplish his purpose and counsel of his heart will mean everlasting life to those who understand them and those who fear the true God. So, with that said, we want to understand who the true God is. So, who is the true God? At Exodus chapter 6, verse 2 to 7, it is written, "Then God said to Moses, I am Yahuwah, and I used to appear to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as God Almighty. But with regard to my name, Yahuwah, I did not make myself known to them. I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land in which they lived as foreigners. Now I myself have heard the groaning of the people of Israel, whom the Egyptians are enslaving, and I remember my covenant. Therefore said to the Israelites, I am Yahuwah, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and rescue you from their slavery, and I will reclaim you with an outstretched arm and with a great judgment. And I will take you in as my people, and I will be your God. And you will certainly know that I am Yahuwah, your God, who is bringing you out from under the burdens of Egypt." At Psalm 83, verse 18, it is written, "May people know that you, whose name is Yahuwah, you alone are the Most High over all the earth." So, the God who brought Israel out of the land of bondage in ancient Egypt with a mighty arm and judgment is the only true God there is. He revealed his name as Yahuwah, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He is the God of Israel. The true God chose Israel, the people of Israel, as his people. At Exodus chapter 29, verse 45, it is written, "I will reside among the people of Israel, and I will be their God. At Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6, it is written, "For you are a holy people to Yahuwah your God, and Yahuwah your God has chosen you to become his people, his special property out of all the peoples who are on the face of the earth." At 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 24, it is written, "You establish your people Israel as your own people for all time." Again, you establish your own people Israel as your own people for all time. And you, O Yahuwah, have become their God. At Psalms 33 verse 12, it is written, "Happy is the nation whose God is Yahuwah, the people he has chosen as his own possession." So the true God chose the people of Israel to be his people, for them to serve him, for them to be his special property. They're supposed to be a happy people because they have this privilege to be the people of God, the chosen people of God. And God's intention or purpose of his heart was to reside among the people of Israel and be their God. For him to be a God to the people of Israel, he will have requirements that things he requires from the people of Israel if they are to be his people. At Exodus chapter 20 verse 5, it is written, "You must not bow down to them, nor be enticed to serve them. For I, Yahuwah your God, I am a God who requires exclusive devotion, bringing punishment for the errors of fathers upon sons, upon the third generations, and upon the fourth generation of those who hate me." At Isaiah chapter 46, verse 3 to 5, and verse 9, it is written, "Listen to me, O house of Jacob, and all you who remain of the house of Israel, whom I have supported from birth and carried from the womb. Until you grow old, I will be the same. Until your hair is gray, I will keep bearing you. As I have done, I will carry you and bear you and rescue you. To whom will you liken me or make me equal or compare me, so that we should resemble each other? Remember the former things of long ago, that I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is no one like me." So, for God to be God to Israel, he requires from the people of Israel exclusive devotion. That is, they should not bow down to any other God, for there is no other God but the true God who is dealing with them. They should not give worship to any other image or any other God, but they should give their exclusive devotion to their God who is chosen them, Yahuwah. He reminded Israel that he will bring punishment for the errors of fathers upon sons, even upon the third generation and fourth generation of those who hate him. That is, if they did not keep his requirements. At Isaiah chapter 41 verse 4, it is written, "Who has acted and done this, summoning the generations from the beginning? I, Yahuwah, am the first one, and with the last one I am the same." So Isaiah chapter 46 shows that God says that Israel, we should listen to him, especially those of us who are awakening today. who are still remaining, whom he has preserved alive even to this day, to witness the awakening of the people of Israel, his chosen people. He said, as he has done before, he will carry us. But we should remember that he is God, and that his decision is what will be done. That he alone is God, and there is no one else. So one thing we should understand about our God, Israel, is that whatever he said, whatever decisions that he made or he makes, that decision will stand. If he said he will bring punishment when Israel disobey, he will bring punishment. That decision stands. He said, remember the former things from long ago, that I am God, and there is no other. I am God, and there is no one like me. And at Isaiah 41 verse 4, he said, who has acted and done this? So who has done what he has said he will do? It is our God. He said he summoned the generation from the beginning. That means he warned us from the very beginning of what he will do. That if he did not get exclusive devotion, that he will bring punishment for the errors of fathers, even up to the 4th generation of this punishment. So as the only true God there is, Yahuwah requires from his chosen people, Israel, exclusive devotion. If he did not get it from them, he promised to bring punishment on the nation of Israel to the 4th generation. That is, punishment up to 4 times of the people that hate him. Israel should know and fear the true God, because there is no one his equal or like him who will carry out whatever he said he will do. Yahuwah has no equal in power, in strength, in wisdom, in knowledge, in loyal kindness, in his ability to do whatever he said he will do. He has no one equal to him. Yes, the true God, the God of Israel, will carry out whatever decision he has made. At Isaiah chapter 46 verse 10 to 11, it is written, from the beginning I foretell the outcome, and from long ago the things that have not been done. I say, my decision will stand, and I will do whatever I please. I am calling a bird of prey from the sunrise, from a distant land, the man to carry out my decision. I have spoken, I will bring it about. I have proposed it, I will also carry it out. At Psalms 33 verse 11, it is written, the decisions of Yahuwah will stand forever. The thoughts of his heart are from generation to generation. At Psalms 135 verse 6, it is written, Yahuwah does everything he pleases to do, in heaven and on earth, in the sea and all the depths. At Isaiah chapter 55 verse 10 and 11, it is written, for just as the rain and the snow pour down from heaven, and does not return there until they saturate the earth, making it produce and sprout, giving seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so my words that goes out of my mouth will be. It will not return to me without result, but it will certainly accomplish whatever is my delight, and it will have sure success in what I send it to do. So Israel, we should know and understand that our relationship is not with a man, but with a divine one who is able to do all the pronouncements of his mouth. The things he has revealed and spoken by his prophets, he will do. He is doing, he has done, and will still do. That is the knowledge that will help us to fear and give our God exclusive devotion. Yes, give him the exclusive devotion that he deserved. That is the knowledge that will lead us to everlasting life. If we remember and keep it in mind that our God will do whatever he has spoken that he will do. If he said he's going to show mercy, he will show mercy. If he said he's going to bring punishment, he's going to bring punishment. If he said whatever he has foretold is what will take place. If we remember this, it will help us to fear our God and to give him the exclusive devotion that he requires from us. So what are some of the decisions of our God of Israel that will stand? What are some of his decisions that he has made that will stand or is still standing? Consider 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 24. It is written, "You establish your people Israel as your own people for all time, and you, O Yahuwah, have become their God." So God's intention is to have Israel establish them as his own people and be God to the people of Israel. That decision, that purpose of God's heart still stands. It cannot be changed. At Exodus chapter 29 verse 45, it is written, "I will reside among the people of Israel, and I will be their God." That decision of our God to reside among the people of Israel and be God to the people of Israel, that decision still stands. At Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6, it is written, "For you are a holy people to Yahuwah your God, and Yahuwah your God has chosen you to become his people, his special property out of all the people who are on the face of the earth." That decision of our God still stands. He has chosen Israel to be a holy people to him. Of all the peoples that are on earth, Israel is God's chosen people. At Ezekiel chapter 20 verse 32 and 33, it is written, "And what have you in mind when you say, 'Let us become like the nations, like the families of the other lands, who worship wood and stone'? It will never happen. As surely as I am alive, declares the sovereign Lord Yahuwah, I will rule as king over you, people of Israel, with a mighty hand and with an outstretched arm and with an outpouring of rage." Yes, even when Israel wants to go and be like other nations and leave their God alone, the Most High said it will never happen. As long as he is alive, he will rule as king over his chosen people. So he will rule with a mighty hand, an outstretched arm, and an outpouring of rage. Israel, you've been chosen by God. And that is what that decision still stands. So Israel is a chosen by Yahuwah. That decision cannot be changed. Israel's forefathers agreed to be the people of God and to serve Him. That cannot be changed. The only thing that can nullify the decision is death of either party. Again, the only thing that can nullify that decision to serve the Most High God is either death of either party. But the Most High already told you in Ezekiel that as long as He is alive, Israel, you are His chosen people, His property. You have entered into this covenant to serve the true God, and it cannot be changed. The only thing that can change it is death of either party. Again, consider some other decisions of our God that still stands. At Exodus chapter 20 verse 5, there it is written, "You must not bow down to them, nor be enticed to serve them. For I, Yahuwah, your God, I am a God who requires exclusive devotion, bringing punishment for the errors of fathers upon sons, upon the third generation, and upon the fourth generation of those who hate me." Yes, the Most High said that Israel, He requires exclusive devotion from you. If He did not get it, so He will bring punishment. He will bring destruction upon fathers, upon sons, even up to the fourth generation of those who hate Him, who refuse to give Him what He required, exclusive devotion. At Hosea chapter 5 verse 15 it's written, "I will go away because Israel failed to give the Most High the exclusive devotion that He required from them." At Hosea chapter 5 verse 15 it's written, "I will go away and return to my place until they bear the consequences of their guilt. And then they will seek my favor. When they are in distress, they will seek me." So the Most High said He will leave Israel alone because Israel failed to give Him exclusive devotion. So He will go away until Israel, you bear the consequences for your guilt. So when you are in trouble, when we are in trouble, then we will seek Him. At Hosea chapter 6 verse 1 and 2 is written, "Come and let us return to Yahuwah, for He has torn us to pieces, but He will heal us. He struck us, but He will bind our wounds. He will revive us after 2 days. On the third day, He will raise us up, and we will live before Him." Israel failed to give their God exclusive devotion. Therefore, Yahuwah's decision to bring punishment stands. Israel is still today in punishment for their revolt of not giving God exclusive devotion, being punished until up to fourth generation or 4 times of this punishment upon the nation. Part of the punishment on Israel included that the nation be abandoned to bear the consequences for their errors for 2 days, and then be raised up on the third day. Here is the decision of our God that still stands. At Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 34 to 38, it is written, I will bring you out from the peoples and collect you together out of the lands where you have been scattered with a mighty hand, with an outstretched arm and with an outpouring of rage. I will bring you into the wilderness of the people and enter into judgment with you there face to face, just as I entered into judgment with your forefathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt. So I will enter into judgment with you, declares the sovereign Lord Yahuwah. I will make you pass under the shepherd's staff and bring you under obligation to the covenant. But I will remove from you the rebels and those transgressing against me. For I will bring them out of the land of their foreign residence. But they will not enter the land of Israel. And you will have to know that I am Yahuwah. So the Most High God's decision is that though Israel is scattered among the nations to bear the punishment for their error, He said, with a mighty outstretched arm, He will do what? Bring Israel out into the wilderness of the peoples and enter into judgment with Israel there face to face. Just as He entered into judgment with our forefathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, when He swore that those ones who are rebelling against Him will not enter the promised land. Even so, he made the decision also that those who are not giving Him the exclusive devotion that He requires, while they scattered among the nation, He said He will bring them out, but such ones will not return back to the land of Israel. So you will know that I am Yahuwah. So this is the decision of the Most High that still stands. When the time to gather back the chosen people and return them back to the land, the sinners and rebels will be put to death. For the Most High said they will not return back to the land. They will see His judgment. So Israel, fear the God of Israel, fear your God. Give Him the exclusive devotion that He requires, for this will mean everlasting life for us. At Amos chapter 9, verse 10, it is written, They will die by the sword, all the sinners of my people, those who are saying the calamity will not come near us or reach us. Yes, all Israel, wherever they are scattered, those who are not giving God the devotion that He requires, that their forefathers agreed to, all of them, it is the decision of the Most High is that they will all die by the sword, the sinners of His people. At Malachi chapter 4 verse 1, it is written, For look, the day is coming, burning like a furnace, when all the presumptuous ones and all those practicing wickedness will become like stubble. The coming day will certainly devour them, says Yahuwah of armies, and it will leave them neither root nor branch. Yes, all the sinners of Israel will be put to death. So all those practicing wickedness, they will become like a stubble burned up, and they will have no root or branch to continue with their wickedness, which is turning against their God and going after to worship other false gods. At the end of the punishment days on Israel for their correction, before the anger of God is brought to a finish. The sheep of the house of Israel will be separated, and the rebels and sinners will be put to death for not repenting and return and give exclusive worship to their God. Death then frees them from the covenant agreed to by their forefathers. Those who repented and returned to give their God exclusive devotion will be forgiven and cleansed and returned to the land, the kingdom of their God. Again, these decisions of our God still stands. As Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1 to 3, it is written, "For Yahuwah will show mercy to Jacob, and he will again choose Israel. He will settle them in their land, and the foreign residents will join them and attach themselves to the house of Jacob. And people will take them and bring them to their own place. And the house of Israel will possess them as male and female servants in Jehovah's land. And they will be captors of those who held them captives, and they will have in subjection those who were forcing them to work. In the day when Jehovah your God gives you rest from your pain and from your turmoil and from the hard slavery imposed on you." Yes, this decision still stands. The Messiah will show mercy to Jacob, the remaining ones of Jacob, those who return to their God, those who are considered not as rebels or sinners, those who choose to return to their God and beg for forgiveness for their errors and for the errors of their forefathers. Those are the ones that the Messiah will show mercy to. And those are the ones that he will choose and will settle back in the land. So that decision of our God still stands. At Leviticus chapter 26 verse 40 to 42, it is written, "Then they will confess their own error and the errors of and unfaithfulness of their fathers, and admit that they behaved unfaithfully by walking in opposition to me. Then I also walked in opposition to them by bringing them into the land of their enemies. Perhaps then their uncircumcised heart will be humbled, and then they will pay off their error. And I will remember my covenant with Jacob and my covenant with Isaac, and I will remember my covenant with Abraham, and I will remember the land." So the Messiah already foretold this from the very beginning, from the generations, that when he brings this punishment upon Israel, that time will come when Israel will confess their errors and the errors and unfaithfulness of their fathers. And Israel will admit that they have behaved unfaithfully by walking in opposition to the Most High. And that is what this awakening should do for all who are awakening today. Repent, confess our errors, the sin of Israel against our God, the sins of our forefathers by revolting against the Holy One of Israel. We have acted unfaithfully. The shame of affairs belongs to us. So we should humble ourselves before the Most High as we awaken and ask for his mercy and forgiveness. Then he said he will remember the covenant he made with Jacob, his covenant with Isaac, and his covenant with Abraham, and he will also remember the land. Daniel chapter 2 verse, as Hebrews chapter 11 verse 9 and 10, there it is written, by faith he lived as a foreigner in the land of the promise, as in foreign land, living in tents with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the very same promise. For he was awaiting the city, having real foundation, whose designer and builder is God. Yes, our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they were all looking forward to this city, this territory, this kingdom whose designer is and builder is God. That is God's kingdom. That is God's kingdom, spoken of in Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. That is the promise that God made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that his descendants will take possession of. Yes, when Yah's anger comes on Israel comes to an end, God of Israel will show mercy to repentant and returning remaining ones of Jacob, those returning to serve him exclusively and carry out his decisions. He would then remember his covenant with Isaac, Jacob, and Abraham to give them and their descendants a righteous kingdom that will bring blessings to mankind. So, to all awakening ones or awakened ones, having knowledge or understanding of the God of Israel, his decisions and his activities that he is carrying out, and also having knowledge of his representative, the one he's using, Yahushua. That is what will lead us to everlasting life. Now let's consider Yahushua is the means for carrying out all the decisions and the purpose of our God that stands. At John chapter 14 verse 6 it is written, yes, Yahushua himself said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Yes, Israel, the only means for us to return back to the Father, the only way for us to return back to Him is through the one that came to represent Him, Yahushua. Said He is the way and He is the truth and He is the life that God intended to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and his descendants. He is the way for us to gain that life, to have that life. At John chapter 10, verse 7, verse 9, and verse 11, it is written, Yahushua said again, most truly I say to you, I am the door for the sheep. I am the door. Whoever enters through me will be saved, and that one will go in and out and find pasturage. I am the fine shepherd. The fine shepherd surrenders his life in behalf of the sheep. So he said, he is the door for gathering back the sheep of the house of Israel to where they belong. He is the door. If we go through him, then we can find pasture. He is the fine shepherd, the one to gather and shepherd the sheep of the house of Israel. So, knowing this and understanding it, will be a means for us to gain everlasting life. At John chapter 14, verse 1 to 3, Yahushua said, Do not let your heart be troubled. Exercise faith in God. Exercise faith in him also. He said, in the house of my Father are many dwelling places. Otherwise, I would have told you that I'm going my way to prepare a place for you. Also, if I go my way and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will receive you home to myself, so that where I am, also you may be. So Yahushua said he's going to go back to the Father in order to prepare a place for us. The kingdom that is to come, to get the master plan of what should be done, he has gone back in order to prepare this place. Said that when he has gone, that he will come back again in order to receive the sheep of the house of Israel that are scattered back to himself, so that where he is, we may also be there. So, Israel, we must exercise faith in the one that came in the name of Yahuwah, his representative Yahushua. For he is the door, he is the key, he is the truth, he is the life that God, he is the one to establish or bring about the life that our God wants us to have. He is the one to help us to serve our God the way he wants us to serve him. At John chapter 5 verse 22 is written, "For the Father judges no one at all, but he has entrusted all the judging to the Son. Yes, no one of us has ever seen God and will see God, but the one that came down from our Father, he is the one that has explained him to us. And he is the one that the Most High God, our God, has committed all judgment into his hand." So Israel, knowing this and having faith in it, is what will lead us to everlasting life. Again, consider this also. At Genesis chapter 49 verse 10 it is written, "The scepter will not depart from Judah, neither the commander's staff from between his feet, until Shiloh comes, to whom the obedience of the people will belong." Yes, the staff of rulership will continue to be in Judah, as is written, until the one who has the right comes, and that is Yahushua, who came in the name of the Father. To him the obedience of the people will belong. Israel, recognizing our King, recognizing our leader, recognizing the greatest shepherd from our God, and following him, have faith in him, will be a means for us to gain the life that our God required from us. At Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 15 it is written, "Yahuwah your God will raise up for you from among your brothers a prophet like me. You must listen to him." Yes, Yahushua is this prophet that Moses talked about, that our God will raise up for us. Israel, we must listen to him and follow his directions. As we return and as we are waking up, we must seek to understand the activities of our God and activities and what he has been carrying out with his Son. At Matthew chapter 24, verse 29 to 31, it is written, Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and all the tribes of the earth will be themselves in grief, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heavens with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels with a great trumpet sound, and they will gather his chosen ones together from the four winds, from one extremities of heaven to the other extremities of heaven, to other extremity. So Yahushua is the one who will, after the tribulation or the punishments is over, he is the one that will return. He is the one that will send his angels to gather the chosen ones of Israel back together to the land. He is the one to carry out and fulfill all the promises of our God that stands, all the decisions, the decision to gather his people back to the land. He is the one to do it. So he will send out his angels with a great trumpet sound, and they will gather his chosen ones together from the four wings, from one extremity to the other, from wherever you are scattered, Israel, in whatever corner of the earth that you are. He said his angels will gather all of us together, the chosen, back to the land where we belong. Again, consider this. At Luke chapter 1, verse 32 to 33, it's written, "This one will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. And Yahuwah God will give him the throne of David his father, and he will rule as king over the house of Jacob forever, and there will be no end to his kingdom." Yes, Yahushua is the one that will rule as king over Israel. By means of him, our God will rule over us, like he said. Like he made that decision in Ezekiel. He said, "I will rule over you as long as I am alive." So by means of Yahushua, who will receive the throne of David, and he will rule as king forever over the house of Jacob, and there will be no end to his kingdom. So by means of him, God will carry out all the promises and decisions that he has made to reside over Israel, to reside with Israel. At Matthew chapter 1, verse 21 to 22, it's written, "She will give birth to a son, and you are to name him Yahushua, for he will save his people from their sins." All of this actually came about to fulfill what was spoken by Yahuwah through the prophet, saying, "Look, the virgin will become pregnant and will give birth to a son, and they will name him Emmanuel," which means, when translated, God is with us. Yes, by means of this one, Yahushua, God will be with his people, Israel, and dwell with them. At Daniel chapter 7, verse 27, it's written, "And the kingdom and the rulership and the grandeur of the kingdoms under all the heavens were given to the people who are the holy ones of the Supreme One. The kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all rulers will serve and obey them." Yes, by means of Yahushua, our King, the one that the Most High sent to his people, to Israel. By means of him, the rulership and the ground of the kingdoms under the heavens will be given to the people who are the holy ones of the Supreme One. That is you, Israel. Say your kingdom their kingdom will be an everlasting kingdom, and all rulership will serve and obey them. Again, Yahuwah has made these decisions, and these decisions will be carried by means of Yahushua, our King. So Israel, by means of Yahushua, our God will save us from our sins, rule over us, be with us, and restore his kingdom to Israel at the appointed time. Yahushua said that we should believe in our God and believe also in him. He has gone to prepare a kingdom for us, and will return to receive us for himself. Having the knowledge of the only true God, the God of Israel, and his representative Yahushua, his son, is the source of our gaining everlasting life, if we listen and obey them. Again, Israel, remain strong, humble, and keep asking the Most High for mercy and forgiveness. Until next time, Shalom.